Hello and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. It's so good to be here with you today. I hope that all is well with you. Well, today I want to put together some pumpkin seeds into a jar and also into an envelope and store them away for next season's planting. This was the first pumpkin that I harvested for the 2021 season. It is looking so good here. I'm going to cut it open, save the seeds, and bake myself a pumpkin pie, the first for the season. What are you making with your produce that you have been gathering and harvesting? Have you already made that pumpkin pie? Making and trying out different recipes with your different squash and other produce that you've been gathering? Well, I'm just sitting here and thinking about the fact that I want to grow some more pumpkins next year in my garden. And these pumpkins came from a pumpkin that I had actually planted last year, and it lasted throughout the season, last year through the winter in my home. And in April, I think it was March or April, because I had waited so long to use it and the temperatures were getting warmer, and especially in the location where I was storing the pumpkin started to get warmer, that the pumpkin then began to spoil, and so I had to throw it out. Well, in doing that, my husband gathered the seeds and scattered them in our area where we had dumped the compost pile, and the seeds germinated and brought a lot of different little seedlings and plants. So I planted them in different parts of the garden. So here are the pumpkins, seedlings that have germinated here from that pumpkin that I had grown last year in the garden. And you can see the mound of compost here that's left back. And so these seeds, you can see one of the seeds right here. Were just tossed here and covered lightly, and now creating all of these pumpkin seedlings. So I want them to get their second leaves, and then I'm going to transplant them to different parts of the garden, leaving some here but putting some in the front garden, the side garden, the back garden, the veggie patch, and just let them trail and see how many pumpkins I'm going to have from that one pumpkin that was grown last year in my garden. I think this is very powerful, this knowing that if you plant it and save the seeds and toss them out for the next year, that you will have more. So from one pumpkin has come many plants, and the possibility of many pumpkins. Well, I happened to plant one of these seedlings in the jewel area, a new area in my garden, and there it produced these pumpkins. And also the third pumpkin. Well, I've already cut that pumpkin open, and I'm going to make pumpkin pie with it. And that pumpkin produced all of these seeds. So I really want to save the seeds again for next year and then plant them out and put them in the garden so that I can have pumpkins, a lot of pumpkins stored over the winter time for us to eat. My family, we do love the winter squash. And I do have on my table here an assortment of different winter squash that I planted. And what I'm going to do is save those seeds as well. So what I've gathered here for this process is a box of envelopes, and I also have a jar with a cover that I got from the Dollar Tree store. And I'm going to store these seeds in the jar, and also some of them in the envelopes too. I allowed the seeds to dry out overnight on the table. I covered them up and allowed them to dry out, and then I kind of just scattered them over on the table like this, and that allowed them to dry some more. So what I want to do is to save these seeds for next year so that I can plant them in the garden. And saving seeds, it's so critical for us to do that now, because we don't know what's going to be happening in the future, if we will have seeds. So to make sure that I do have seeds, it's important to save my seeds, and then I don't have to buy seeds anymore, at least pumpkin seeds, because my plants, my produce have produced their own seeds, and that's a good thing. I decided to cut the pumpkin here that was grown in my garden, and it was there. I was concerned because I didn't want it to spoil, and it turned out that it's looking pretty good, and it's still very firm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bake it in the oven, and I'm going to make a pie with it. But at the same time too, I am going to save these seeds, because I found that the seeds that I got from another pumpkin that I had last year, that the seeds grew, especially when they were placed in a place where there's a lot of compost. That area had a lot of compost, so the seeds developed into seedlings. Then I transplanted those seedlings to another location in which produced this pumpkin. So I'm going to have a lot of pumpkin seeds, and this pumpkin originated from a seed pack that I received from the dollar, that I purchased at the dollar store, and that pumpkin grew very big and was very fruitful here. So this is like the second generation, I guess, of pumpkin and pumpkin seeds. So these seeds should be acclimated to my garden and should do well here next year. I'm going to save them and package them and put them away. Here I have my pumpkins, and they are just looking so beautiful. Aren't they beautiful? Right, so what I have here is I have the jar, and it has a nice seal. Yeah. So I know that it will be airtight. And what I'm going to do is just add just put in some seeds. I should count the seeds. You want to count them with me? At least put in a good amount in here. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now, there's 25 seeds already here, and you should see the amount of seeds that are still here. So I am not going to do that and bore you with that, but I'm going to just throw them in and store them. So that's one way. This is one way of storing these seeds. Just putting them in like this. And I'm going to keep them in this jar. And I place them in the jar here, and they are looking very good here. Yeah, so gathering your seeds and storing your seeds for the next season is really a wonderful thing to do, because now you know that you will have what you need to plant in your garden, and it is very rewarding to have this. So what I'm going to do is just take one of my little envelopes, fill it up with the seeds. A lot of seeds, you know. It's amazing. I'm so amazed at the fact that how bountiful our Mother Nature is. Just so bountiful. She just supplies us with so much. And so now I'm going to just write here, pumpkin seeds 2021. Yeah, and then just put them away. So now I have these seeds in the jar as well as these seeds in the envelope. And when I open up some of these pumpkins too, I'm going to save some of these seeds too. So I think I'm going to just put a pumpkin number 1 here. Well, when I was planting these pumpkins, the Burpee seed pack, they just called them winter squash, and pumpkins are part of that too. So I think I'm going to do it the same way that they did, the Burpee seed people, and just gather seeds and make sure that I put them away in a jar like this, and then plant them and have that surprise to see what I can get from my plants. I decided that I wanted to get some pumpkin filling. So what I did was I cut open the pumpkin, saved the seeds, put it in the oven, the pumpkin in the oven, and baked it, and then I put it in the food processor, which was then I was then able to mix it and make it smooth. And I added cinnamon and sugar, and this is the result. So now I'm going to create the pie, and I'll show you when I'm finished. Well, the pie is finished. It's baked, and it's just cooling here on the counter. And this is our pumpkin pie, in which we're going to enjoy. Yep. Pumpkin pie, my first pie from the garden. This is exciting. To do is to store those pumpkin seeds for next year, because that way we can create more plants and more pumpkin seedlings that we can put throughout the garden, and that way I can have a lot of pumpkins. Well, if you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. Are you gathering seeds And are you enjoying your winter squash and your pumpkins? Have you made your first pumpkin pie? Leave a comment down below and share that information with us here at Catherine's Garden and Home, where we grow, 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 grow together in Catherine's Garden and Home. So if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell for more videos. We would love for you to join us here at Catherine's Garden and Home and become part of our growing community where we grow together and learn from one another. Well, if you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe. Comment down below. What are you doing in your garden? How are things coming along for you? Is everything going well? I hope so. And are you enjoying your produce? Have you started to bake any pies or bring some of that goodness into your kitchen to feed your family with? Well, leave a comment down below. And thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're inspired to save seeds for next year's harvest and also to use some of that food that you've been working so hard to grow in your garden, that you don't let it go to waste, but that you have been harvesting and gathering with your family and friends. Have a wonderful day and see you next time right here in Catherine's Garden and Home. Bye. For more videos, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time right here in Catherine's Garden. Bye.